Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And I certainly am. Always good to have you guys come on with us. We appreciate it so much. And let's say hello. We want to say hello to a few folks. I wonder if Brahim will be number one this morning. Let me see. Yup. He's got a trick, and Mike, number two, these guys, and Andrea from Niagara Falls, and Brahim is from Portland, Oregon. And Bill, how are you? Nice to have you on with us this morning. And Betty Lynn, how are you? And Norma, Texas, good morning. And Eric from Ottawa, bonjour. Kerry, Nebraska. And Sue, how are you? And Kevin from Oshawa, Nick from our staff, good morning, Donna, Park Hill, and Wendy from Markham, Fran from Orangeville, and Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Wanda, Ridgeway, and Linda from Nouveau-Brunswick, Mary from Norwich, good morning, Yolande, I was waiting for you. Cheryl, West Virginia. Oh, I would love to sing. Deb from Motown, Detroit, Michigan. Janice, Brampton, Maryland, Kelowna. Wow, bright and early, 5:30 in the morning there. Keith, good morning. Joanne, how are you? And Brahim says he loves everyone. Arlene, you know what? We got such a good group here, don't we? Karen, how is you? Rita from Snowy Berry, Wendy, Leslie, Thunder Bay, Kathy from Brampton, and Beverly from Doketown, New Brunswick, Vera, Newfoundland, good morning, and Diane, Thunder Bay, Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia, bright and early, Barbara, Atlanta, Millica, Stouffville, okay, Carol, Moncton, New Brunswick. Gary from Bolton, I think. And Donna, how are you? Another Donna. Cecilia. Sue. Nativity. There you are. Bonnie. And Anne. Thank you so much. And Mordecai. Knoxville, Tennessee. There's Dr. McEwen. How are you from West Tennessee? Arlene, good morning. Jane from Tirana. Catherine says hello to Brahim. Anne, how are you? And did I say hello already, Nellie? Bruno, North Bay. Two more. Marcia, hola from Mexico. And Beverly, good morning. Barbara, that's the only word I know in Spanish. Hola. Cecilia. And Carol, Tennessee, and Brahim saying he beat the shingles. I think I'll do a show on shingles for Brahim. Mary, Lauren, Cambridge, Karen, Coldwater, and Linda, St. Jude, Quebec, and Annette from New Brunswick. Good morning. Deneen, LaSalle, and Kathy from Belleville. Luella, West Tennessee. Thanks, guys. John, how are you? And Gloria, New York. Lorraine, British Columbia. Okay, what I want to talk about, there's a new study that came out, and we'll get into a little bit, not so much into the study, but what they're talking about. There's a new study on magnesium citrate. Okay, now you guys know me. I love magnesium. And my favorite magnesium is citrate. And I like the biglycinate too. Okay, but this new study is on magnesium citrate, and it says that it chelates oxalates. What? It gets rid of oxalates, magnesium, gets rid of oxalates. Now, what are oxalates? Okay? And I think it's important that we know that. Look, guys, if you read my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel, and by the way, we're going to do a Christmas special on this book, okay? If you haven't got your book yet, well, it's a good time to buy it, okay? Just stay tuned. But what we want to do is make sure you get copies for as gifts. I think it's a great gift to give to a friend or family member, that's perhaps doesn't know what you know. A lot of people, they don't get the other side. They just drink the Kool-Aid. One of them is they don't understand what oxalates are, okay? So oxalates are crystals, like glass, okay? And they can cause trouble. Now, I don't live and die on oxalates, okay? Meaning that, guys, there's people out there that are so anti-meat, anti-eggs. You've heard it. There's a lot of that. But on the other side of the token, okay, and there's so few of them, but there are those, you hear about it, the carnivore diet or whatever, and they're against fruits and vegetables. I want to tell you where I come from, if you don't already know. I love, more than anything, the animal kingdom of food. There's 3 kingdoms in food. Okay? There's 3 kingdoms. I like to differentiate that like that. 3 kingdoms. 1, okay, the animal kingdom. Eggs, meat, cheese, dairy, right? The animal kingdom. Butter. Okay? That's in the animal kingdom. Then there's the plant kingdom. What is the plant kingdom? Well, fruits and vegetables. And thirdly, there's the man-made kingdom of food. Okay? Go through the middle aisles of your grocery stores pretty well. And those are man-made. Okay? That doesn't mean they don't have plants in there or whatever. But generally, in those middle aisles of your grocery store is processed foods, man-made foods, from cereal to ketchups. Okay? Crackers to whatever's in that middle aisle pretty well. Okay? And I'm not big on that kingdom. I'm not big on man's kingdom. Because man, left to his own devices, very smart. Human beings are dangerously smart. Okay? And I've talked to you so many times about some of their inventions when it comes to food. And one of them, we really went into some detail yesterday, was on high fructose corn syrup. A man-made syrup. Man-made syrup, sweetener, man-made. Are they good? No. They are horrendous for your body. Even artificial sweeteners. Man-made. Okay? And do I like them? No, I don't. Okay? And then there's, I talked to you again yesterday about these seed oils, or from Crisco to all of these hydrogenated, a 15-step chemical process to make them. They're not natural, man-made seed oils. Dangerous. Meant for your car. They're highly synthetic. You know, when you go get your oil changed in your car and they ask you, do you want fully synthetic or just Plain old oil. Well, your car actually would prefer the fully synthetic. So man does good things for your car, not for your body. They're not made for your body, those oils. And when you see those clear oils on the grocery store shelf, avoid. So 3 kingdoms: animal, plants, fruits and vegetables. Man-made kingdom. Okay, so let's put man-made kingdom over there. Now we're going to focus not on animal kingdom, we're going to focus on the plant kingdom. Okay? Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but about 98% of all plants are unedible. They're not meant for consumption. Okay? A lot of them are poisonous. Okay? Now, but do I like fruits and vegetables? Yes, I do. I do. And I would put it in, you know me with my little pyramid. Okay? Man-made, bad. Plants, good. Animal kingdom, best. That's me. So I'm not strictly a carnivore. I'm a omnivore. I believe in the best. The top of the food chain is animal kingdom foods, eggs, meat, and cheese. Eggs, meat, and cheese. And second, still good, but they're not the best, are plants. And you know some of my sayings, okay? You're not a rabbit, so don't live on plants. You're not a cow. Yesterday I went for a bike ride. I saw cows. Okay? When I go by cows, I'm surprised they don't yell out, "There's Dr. Martin, my best friend." I love cows. And they eat grass so you don't have to. Okay? How do you like that? Okay? I'm watching them. And they're eating grass. And it takes them all day. There's a reason for that. Okay? There's a reason for that. They regurgitate it, plus they got 4 stomachs. A cow's got 4 stomachs. You only got 1, and your stomach was made for the animal kingdom. Especially red meat. Your stomach was made and designed by God for you to eat red meat. So if anybody on this planet tells you differently than that, and they'll give you propaganda, not facts. Your stomach is designed to eat red meat. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have chicken. It doesn't mean you can't have plants, but you certainly don't want to live on them. Okay? And what do I call fruit? God's candies. You don't live on fruit. You're not meant to live on fruit. You're not even meant to live on vegetables. You're not. Your body was designed to eat meat, and especially red meat. Why is that? Because it is the most nutrient-dense food in the world. Bar none. And guys, you know I'm consistent about that. Your anatomy was made for you to eat meat, especially red meat. And that's why I don't want you to ditch dairy. I want you to switch dairy. I don't want you to go to the grocery store and buy milk. You don't need milk. Again, where I was riding yesterday and I saw cows, I said, well, if you got one of those in your backyard, you go ahead and drink milk. Otherwise, you don't need it. You need water, and eat meat, okay? And eat eggs and cheese. You need dairy, okay? You need dairy. Your body's designed for dairy. Now, let me get back to the number 2 kingdom, vegetable kingdom. One of the, I don't know if I would call it an anti-nutrient, is a thing called oxalates. They're crystals, like glass. And I used to tell patients this all the time. I'm not in practice anymore, okay? I'm giving you history of what I used to do in my office. Whenever I had a patient that came into the office and they had kidney stones, okay? Kidney stones. They had a history of kidney stones. They had a history, perhaps, of interstitial cystitis. They had unexplained pain a lot of times in their joints, crystals. Oxalate, one of the things that I think I wrote about it in this book. If it wasn't in this one, it was in my previous one, Metabolic Syndrome. No, I think it's in this one too. I might have put it in here. I actually wrote an article for a publication a couple of years ago, and they never asked me to write another one because I don't think they liked what I wrote. Because I said, one of the things in breast cancer, I mean, look, there's estrogen, there's sugar, there's too much estrogen, too much insulin, absolutely. But one of the things they found with, and you'll never hear this, with breast cancer, ladies, is this. Often the presence of oxalates, crystals in the breast tissue. Imagine that. Those, my friend, are people that live on the plant kingdom. And especially, I'll give you a list. Green leafy vegetables like spinach. And I wrote them down. Kale, chard, root vegetables, potatoes, okay? And parsnips, beets, rhubarb, okay? Certain fruits, they give off oxalates. Does that make them bad? No. But if you live on them, bad. Kidney stones are 75% oxalates and 25% calcium. Okay, 75% of them are oxalates. And a lot of women get kidney stones. You know why? They live on plants. Dr. Martin, salad. I need my fiber. If I don't get fiber and I got to have my salad, I said, well, you know what? You got kidney stones because you're eating too much of it. And then I would get a lot of women, some men, a lot of women though, with diverticulosis. And they would look at me like I had two heads when I told them, you know what's happening? You're eating way too much of the plant kingdom. And it's irritating your gut. As a matter of fact, it's making little pouches down there on the descending colon. and you've got diverticulosis, ain't no fun. And if you ever get diverticulitis, you're on your way to the hospital. But I said, here's what you're going to do. Trust me. Okay, you got to trust me because I'm going to tell you something that your doctor won't. You're eating too many vegetables. You got too much fiber down there, my dear. And fiber's overrated. And it's bulking up your stool. Why do you want to do that? You're irritating your colon. Stop. I said, stop for 30 days. Trust me. Oxalates, crystal, getting caught not only in the kidneys, but in the bladder and the urethra. I've seen it happen. And I said, look, I didn't say you can't have them anymore. I said, you're going to stop till I clear this up. We clear it up together. I can't go home with you, but Linda, you need to listen. Because this is very important. And, nuts and seeds. You're not a squirrel. You're not a squirrel. The only seed I like is flax seeds. And, I used to, if you had diverticulosis, I was always even careful with that. Because those seeds and those nuts, Dr. Martin, do you know how good seeds are for you? Yeah, if you're a bird. If you're a squirrel or a chipmunk, you're putting away stuff for the winter. I said, you're going to get fat and you're going to have digestive issues because they irritate the gut. Man, it was always against the flow. I had to undo their thinking. Okay? But all these conditions, even leaky gut, I get them. You got too much fiber down there. And in the joints, too much crystal. It's glass. Why do you want to eat, not grass, but glass? Grass, I like this. I just made it up. Grass gives you glass. I like that. Isn't that good? Grass gives you glass. Oxalates. Again, okay? So don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Okay? Don't misinterpret it. I'm not saying that you can't have any fruits or vegetables. I'm not saying that. Don't ever tell me. Now, for 30 days, when you do the reset, you have to trust that process. I know it's hard. For people who just love salad, do you think I don't know that that's not hard? Okay? It's hard. Nobody said it was easy. But you got to trust what I'm saying. I want you to change fuels. I want you to go from low density food, high octane fuel. Eggs, you can't beat. Meat, you can't beat. Dairy, butter and cheese, you just can't beat it. You can't beat it. It's at the top. And they don't contain oxalates. Okay? There's no oxalates in there. Now look, I could talk to you about gluten. I could talk to you about other things, sort of what I would call anti-nutrients. But we'll stick to oxalates. And magnesium. Look, if someone gets kidney stones, here's what I found: two things. Mostly. Okay? Three things. Okay? When people get kidney stones, they're dehydrated. Almost invariably. Andrea, you know all about this. Niagara Falls. Have you ever been to Niagara Falls? Isn't it wonderful? I never get tired of looking at the falls in Niagara Falls. Never get tired of it. It's a wonder of the world, isn't it? But I've never gone there where, oh, you know what? The water stopped. There's no, oh, I should have came between 2 and 4 p.m. because that's when the water flows over Niagara Falls. You know, it's unfortunate, but they turn it off. No, it's never turned off. You can go in 4 in the afternoon or 4 in the morning. It don't matter. The water's running. That ought to be you. You are 80%. You're like planet Earth. 70 to 75% water. Okay? Water's essential. It's essential to clean out your kidneys. People don't realize that. Because, oh, Dr. Martin, I have watermelon. What's that got to do with your kidneys? You need water to flush out. You hear me? Water. That's a big problem in kidney stones. 2, oxalates. They love their salads. Too much. Too much. And those oxalates start forming in the kidney. And you combine that with dehydration and you got a kidney stone. And the other 25%, that's why I said 3 things, are people that drink fructose. They love their fructose. And those things affect the kidneys and they create calcium stones. Calcium stones. Here's another thing that oxalates do. They often cause gallstones. They're a big factor in gallstones. And the reason is, again, because people are living. Why do we see so much gallstones today? Reason number 1. People, your gallbladder was meant to be used when you're eating fat and bile is produced, but if you don't use it, you lose it. Women, thus, 90% of all gallbladder surgeries, 90% are women. Now, there's another factor, and it has to do with the bladder too, by the way. Same thing. When you're estrogen dominant, too much womanhood, it affects smooth muscle, which your gallbladder is. So is your bladder. Why do ladies have trouble with the bladder? Not only because they're eating too many oxalates, because they have estrogen coming out both their ears. Why do women lose their gallbladder a lot? I'm not all women, of course not. But why? One of the most sensitive, or I'm looking for another word, one of the times you're more susceptible, ladies, to gallbladder is right after having a baby. Why is that? What? Why is that? Well, because when you have a baby, all of your progesterone is left in the placenta. It all goes in there. You need progesterone for the placenta, for a healthy baby. You deliver a baby and all of your progesterone is gone. All of it. But that's all right. Your body usually makes, but while your body is making up that progesterone, you can form stones in the smooth muscle because of the estrogen dominance. See, estrogen is way up here and your progesterone is way down here right after a baby. That's another reason that a lot of women get postpartum depression. They have hormones in imbalance. Then nobody talks to you about that. Nobody says anything about that. I used to explain this to women when I was in my practice days, and they go, what? How come nobody ever told me that? Well, I don't know, but I'm telling you now, you're too much of a woman. Or you were too much of a woman when you lost your gallbladder, plus you're eating salad. Too much salad. And guys, I'm telling you, big problemo. Okay? Big problemo. Oxalates. Oxalates. And one of the ways to get rid of it. Okay? And even oxalates can affect your stomach. Acid reflux. You put sugar and oxalates together, just like they can drive your kidneys crazy with kidney stones. You put sugar and oxalates together and it can give you real diabetes because you're not eating enough meat. And if when I say you lose it, use it or lose it when it comes to your gallbladder, same thing with your stomach. Your stomach is meant to eat red meat. If you don't eat red meat, the pH of your stomach changes. And not in a good way. You don't want your stomach to be alkaline. You want your stomach to be highly, highly acidic. A human being has a super acidic stomach, or at least they should have. But today, well, Dr. Martin, what are you talking about? I got acid reflux. I know, because your stomach is not acid enough. So it's trying to, proton pumps inside your stomach are trying to make more acidity and say, hello, you're not eating enough from the animal kingdom. You're eating too many plants. And from the third kingdom, you're eating man-made foods, cereals, man-made. Ooh. Why do I get so passionate? Hey, okay, you know what we're doing tomorrow? We're going to have an afternoon session tomorrow, 4 p.m., okay? We're going to have an afternoon session tomorrow. So tell everybody. We'll post it, okay? Now, guys, Friday is what? Question and answer Friday. Get your questions in, okay? And just, by the way, today is my 51st anniversary. November 29th 51 years ago, I married my sweetheart, Rosie. Okay? 51 years. Now, I know I don't look like I've been married 50. Yes, I do. Yes, I know I do. But that's all right. Isn't that? Okay, guys. We love you dearly, and I mean that. Thanks for being such good friends to this program. Tell your friends about it. Stay tuned. Okay? Stay tuned, because we're going to put a real special on for the books and for Christmas. Okay, we'll talk to you soon, tomorrow afternoon.